Good morning, everyone. This is Lori with 3 Keys Astrology, and I hope you enjoy the scenery of this video. First and foremost, I have open enrollment going on right now for my 3 Keys Astrology students. If you're interested in becoming an astrologer, I teach, and you can go to my website, www.3keysastrology.com, to sign up for courses. I'll be teaching some interesting courses, so keep your eyes open on my website, www.3keysastrology.com, and please share that with friends and family. A year ago, in October of 2021, I recorded I started some criminal analysis and recorded 3 videos on the Murdaugh family. And just yesterday, a unanimous jury, after less than an hour of closing arguments, found Alex Murdaugh guilty of the murders of his wife and son. Those of you that are studying astrology, have studied astrology, will enjoy my astrological analysis about the character that is Alex Murdaugh. There's also a video on our YouTube channel, it's just 3 Keys Astrology, what you're viewing from here, where I also featured Buster Murdaugh, the only living son of Maggie and Alex Murdaugh, and also the decedent son, Paul Murdaugh. It's really nice, and comment below if there are any other families that you're interested in. I do legacy readings, and in those videos and of that analysis, you'll hear some of the cosmological and genetic hereditary dispositions between fathers, sons, and in Alex's case, his own father and grandfathers. I've also done extensive work on Black Moon Lilith, and coincidentally, or not, because we that study astrology believe in fate, Alex Murdaugh had Black Moon Lilith conjunct Mars on the MC in the sign of Aries. He indeed used weapons, and it's opposing his house, the 4th house of Libra, and Libra, Capricorn, and Sagittarius all infer legal professions and legal crossings. It is so that he was a 5th generation son in this legacy of inheritance, where he worked in the prosecutor's office along with several of his relatives. And now in a grand fall from grace, which is the MC, the medium coli we call it in our astrology lingo, is one's reputation. And it's actually on the south side of the world in the chart. The chart has it inverse. So he had Aries opposing Libra, and he would have a fall from grace that was in the grand scheme of things from his roots, Libra, which are the legal profession, and the 5th generation of these attorneys that curled the law and cured favor for themselves and their families. Also interesting, so Black Moon Lilith and Mars together are diabolical, and he's got quite the Geminian complex going on, because he's a 12th house person with a triple conjunction in Gemini. He's got a combust Mercury that's burned, and his sun and moon are also in that house. And so the biggest dilemma, other than this opposition, Mars, Black Moon Lilith, to his Libra house, the 4th house of ancestors and roots, would be he would be the one to bring shame on the family and garner worldwide disrespect. He's a pathological liar, a compulsive liar, admittedly, and it was a pitiful thing to see him try to represent himself along with the 2 crooks of the law firm that represented both he and his son, the one that he killed, who was responsible for the death of Mallory Beach, and likely Buster and Paul, I'm going to say it, likely responsible for the death of Stephen Smith. The financial crimes were separate from this case of murder, but I think you'll find those videos interesting. The other dilemma that Alex Murdaugh had is something that played out in my own life in the last 6 weeks, and it's pretty significant. A military signature in astrology is Mars and Saturn together, and he had his sun, his moon, and his Mercury, burned Mercury, combust Mercury, a little boy not heard by his father, and a little boy that was pretty willful and pretty daring and pretty courageous, who wanted to do things his own way and still was living a life like a selfish Aries would, versus the collaboration that is Libra. And that triple conjunction in the 12th house in Gemini is square his square his Saturn. And so it's an interesting, he's got this rising sign Cancer, which is opposing Capricorn. So we that are advanced astrologers talk about progressions. It's a year for every degree in the chart, a year of your life, and we progress those planets all forward to determine what your life is like in the here and now. And in his progress chart, his rising sign Cancer is at the moment of his conviction and sentencing today. At this moment, Pluto is anoretta. It's at a critical degree. I'll be talking to you about that in your forecast, but it is very interesting that this huge transformational occurrence is happening in his life where his Cancer rising sign, which proves his moon face and soft voice, is opposing the descendant Capricorn with Pluto anoretta in the progress chart at 29 degrees. He's literally undergoing the most horrific of cataclysmic cause and effect situations when someone takes someone else's life, never mind 2 lives, and of immediate close blood family, your own son, your own wife. In this diabolical twist of fate, his south node at this current moment in time was being activated where his black moon Lilith and Mars are in Aries opposing Libra. And also very quite interesting in the progress chart, or transit chart I should say, Mars in Gemini is hitting him on his sun, moon, and his burn Mercury. And the people are represented. His Cancer self, the rising sign, is Alex in himself, the way he conducts himself in the world, opposing the descendant, which is Capricorn. And Capricorn is authority. And when you have 1-7 access interactions and discussions of essential dignity, Aries is always opposite Libra, which infers how oneself conducts oneself with others in the 7th. And in this case, with Pluto anoretta and Capricorn, Capricorn is the court. It's a sense of authority. It's the jury that's judging him. And with Mars in the 12th house, it was his comeuppance. I said back in October 2021, and even cried doing my analysis and on those videos at the heinous and just unbelievable cruelty involved in the crimes that this family has committed, father and sons. It's very important that you know during this forecast. So I hope you enjoy those. I'm not on camera today. I've been working all day long and I'm a bit fatigued. I'm going to first begin this video after this summation and talking about Alex Murdaugh and inviting you to come and learn astrology, to speak this ancient language that I speak and have taught. It's a wonderful, wonderful career to be able to help people by the probability and patterns that are between 5,000 and 6,000 years old. In this forecast today, I'm going to be featuring the first 18 days of March. And as we speak, it's Friday the 3rd. The moon is in Leo. The sun is in Pisces. And we have quite an eventful March overall. Major things are happening. Now, if you enjoyed the tranquility and dreamy state-like events of yesterday, then you're really on par and in tune with the vibration of our cosmological flow, that sea that we're actually swimming in a sea of stars, though it seems like we're on this dense ball of earth. Yesterday, Mercury moved into Pisces, so the sun was in Pisces, Mercury was in Pisces, and the lovely moon was in Cancer. And all of this wonderful water energy, maybe you were in a fog, maybe you had trouble concentrating, maybe you were forgetful, maybe you couldn't quite listen. That's pretty normal. We had some really beautiful things happening, and Mercury moving into Pisces is a bit of a double-edged sword, for Pisces happens to be a twin sign, and Mercury is a planet that's childlike and also a bit of a twin. Mercury is a messenger god. He's not a god like the other planets, and he is in he's compromised when he's in Pisces, and that means Pisces people have a tendency to lie, not because they're cruel, like some other signs can be, and deliberate, but because they don't want to hurt your feelings. So a lot of that will be going on for the next month. If you're going to ask somebody if you have spinach in your teeth, you maybe better go look in the mirror instead of ask, because if it's a Pisces, they'll say no, even if you have a whole salad hanging out there. You got to be careful. Some of the other interesting events that are going on at this current moment in time is that while yesterday was quite dreamy, March the 2nd, March the 3rd, the moon moves into Leo, and today it's not such an easy day. If you're part of my 3 Keys Astrology private Facebook group, you'll see that I put a post telling you to tape your mouth shut, because this is hair pulling, teeth gnashing, fist punching kind of energy. We've got the moon in conjunct Saturn, the moon opposite Pluto, and the moon in conjunct Mercury. And that is all about fighting and having the last word. That doesn't make for any nice friendship or relationship. The weekends, however, look pretty good. I especially love the weekend of the 11th and 12th coming up, but at this moment in time, we are approaching rising toward a full moon, the whole population. Now we're going to see some drastic weather changes. We're going to see lots of flooding, and the earth will quake and shake, I promise. Why? Because we have 2 death planets in Areta. Pluto's at 29 degrees and Saturn's at 29 degrees. Saturn is leaving his domain of Aquarius, where he's been squaring Uranus for the last couple of years and causing a lot of havoc and shakeup and breakups and all kinds of separations. And this we could see on the world stage, in the corporate world, geographically, certain factions fighting sex versus sex and belief versus belief, that age-old sandbox story. So that's a big deal. You see, on the 7th of February, the 7th of March, the very day that we have our full moon, which will be 16 degrees of Virgo, this is going to be opposing that sun in Pisces. So I want to caution you. I have seen COVID and predicted it in at least 50 cases for the clients I've read for. You have to be very careful right now if you're a Virgo or a Pisces, any of your 3 keys, especially your rising sign. And also, I would say, if your rising sign is Leo. Let me see, wait a second. Let me make sure I'm doing my math right. No, I'm not right. Libra. All of you Libra rising need to be very, very mindful of germs right now. Jupiter's in Aries, increasing the propensity for not only fires in the planet that'll roar and burn out of control. Aries, Capricorn, Cancers, and Leos have to be careful and make sure your homes are fireproof and the properties you own and work in. But the virus, if you are Libra rising, you have to be very, very careful at this full moon conjunction or opposition of the sun Pisces. We don't have a cure yet, but we're going to have a pretty, you'll feel a dreamlike state in this month, because on Tuesday, that full moon date of March the 7th, that's when Saturn, who's been posited in Aquarius for the last 2 years, moves into Pisces. Saturn and Pisces are a dichotomy of hard and soft, of water and steel, of authority and lackadaisical attitudes. They just don't meld. And so there's going to be a bit of a frustration level in the next 2 years, and we're going to go through some changes because Saturn's not all that happy there. He's going to be much more happy when he moves into Aries in 2026, at the end of that, early 2027. But for now, Saturn's going to be in Pisces, and he's going to get closer and closer to Neptune. The sun is there, Mercury is there, Venus has moved on, she's in Aries now. The other big events that are happening this month are that Mercury's moving pretty fast, you guys, which means just as February flew by quickly, so will March. The other big events that are happening this month is that Venus moves into Taurus on the 16th of March. That's very sweet for all of we that are Taurus. any sun, moon, rising sign, especially Taurus rising, this is your time of the year to shine. You will look more beautiful. You will have more favor. You will be acquire and be given favor. So come and get your readings if you're wondering about asking for promotions and such. On the 20th of March, the sun will move into Aries, and on the 21st of March, we'll have a new moon in Aries. So that new moon is pretty significant for all of you Aries. I encourage you to get readings because it's at 0 degrees, a brand new beginning. Now, those of you that listened to my forecast last week, especially those of you born 18, 19, 20, 21 February, you're going through monumental changes, and I encourage you, if you've gotten your birth chart readings, to get your progress chart readings. On my website, they're called Here and Now readings. I offer a more in-depth, comprehensive reading called the Here and Now. You'll love those because there's major change going on. We that are Taurus and Scorpio are in the crosshairs of the fated nodes with Leo and Aquarius. That's still happening. The nice thing is, whatever boxes we were in or whatever places we got ejected from, whatever situations we left, it's going to get easier. Now you get to live with the decisions you made, and that can be a very sweet thing. Okay, I'm going to talk now about, we'll start with Saturday, and I'll go through the 18th. On Saturday, we're still going to have the moon in Leo, and it's a little bit of a half and half day. The moon's going to be in a trine to Jupiter, which can be very, very nice for mommies and children, for fun, for exploration and adventures. And then the moon is going to be trining Venus, so it's a great day for girlfriends to hang out, mothers and daughters, grandmothers and granddaughters. It's a wonderful energy. It's the energy of compromise. It's the energy of agreement. It's the energy of cooperation, and that's very nice. But at the end of the day, around dinner time, the moon's going to be in a square to Uranus, and that can be all of a sudden incidents. And there can be some family clashes going on, so I want you to be aware of that. As far as couples go, on Saturday the 4th, at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, there's an inconjunction, the sun between the moon, and that can be discord for couples, or married couples most especially. Parents arguing about children is a real likely thing. And I say give in. Just for Saturday, what the heck? It's Lenten season, give in to the men. And unless it's just ridiculous and it's impossible. On the 5th, Sunday, we have a really nice sun sextile Mars, and that can give you some ambition, though we're supposed to keep the Sabbath holy. It's a great time to get things done around the home and nest inside the home, make your nest a little cozier. But the rest of the day, from noon on until you go to bed at night, it looks pretty complicated. And it rolls into Monday a little bit too. So we've got the moon in conjunct Neptune, the moon in conjunct Pluto, the moon opposite Saturn, and the moon on Monday the 6th opposite Mercury. And what that means is problems. Now, why it's more exacerbated is because we've got a full moon on the rise. So the 2 days beforehand, your patience will be tested. And I would encourage you, because all these planets look like you're in a fight with authority, or you're feeling oppressed by authority, or you're not getting your way. And so having heard this forecast, maybe because it's Lenten season, you can really write about or drill into yourself and self-examine and say, well, why am I bucking up against this? Is it worth it? There's so many other choices that I have. I don't need to be doing that. That's pretty important. I will tell you that going ahead, just for a heads up, the 14th looks like a pretty difficult day. I would say it's the worst day of March, and I'm loving the 17th, St. Patrick's Day. And St. Patrick is a favored saint in our Catholic religion. He's a hero in Ireland. A famous knight was he, and faithful, and fought for the crown, and which is the Bible in his time. So that's a really nice day, the 17th, and St. Patrick's birthday. And then on the 14th, Tuesday, a pretty difficult day. So going back day by day, explain the weekend, 4, 5, 6. The full moon on the 7th is an incredible day for the ingression of Saturn into Pisces. The themes for the next 2 years are going to be that we're really going to have to check our fantasy life versus our reality, and check how much are you lying to yourself? How much do you lie to others? Are you living real? Are you authentic? Are you genuine? Are you fake? Do you have a fake life, a fake virtual life, a fake whatever life? That's going to be the clash. That's Saturn pushing his way into Pisces and telling you to knock it off, to get real. And reality check is what Saturn is all about. So Tuesday, the full moon, we have the moon opposite Neptune. We have the moon squaring Mars and the moon in conjunct Venus. This is not so nice anyway for females versus males. It is a versus situation. And it looks like the women are getting the short end of the stick. Do your best not to be embroiled in arguments. Full moon energy is high emotion, high passion. With a full moon being in Virgo and the sun being in Pisces, it can be wives married to husbands that live in fantasy lands that are gamblers or drinkers or irresponsible, or those, I forget what they call them, deadbeat dads. It's that kind of energy. So I know this energy. I was a single parent, and I feel very deeply for mothers and children, and I always offer single parents to pay for my courses in increments if it's easier for them, because I know your plight. I live that plight. And to protect a child should be the priority of every father and mother. And yet we live in a society where it's not so enforced, and it's not as good as it should be. And we can think about that. So that day on the 7th, I would say that problems like that are going to come to the fore. Feeling lack of child support. When moon is squaring Mars and moon is in conjunct Venus, it's not having enough to support the family. Moon opposite the sun, it's those parents not in agreement and not doing their best for the sake of the child, but rather deciding to war with each other. The moon in conjunct Jupiter is a bit of an arrogant stance about the situation, but the moon is about home security and your feelings, and ultimately survival needs that need to be met. The one nice thing is we've got the moon trining Uranus that day at 5 o'clock in the morning. Other than that, it's a pretty trying day, and this is a pretty trying full moon, which Sunday is going to show you, and today actually has been a little bit of a, I would say, glimpse into what this full moon energy can be like. So those issues that I've just spoken of can be really stirring right now. And the one thing that's really a blessing is when the moon is in a trine to Uranus, that happens in the morning. It's that realization that you shouldn't beat a horse with a dead horse with a stick, and you can't make people change. So if you've been married for a long time to someone who would rather be at a bar than supporting his family, or be supporting other people instead of his family, then it's time. Moon Uranus, trine Uranus, is giving you the courage to make changes and let that person deal with his own fate, rather than you being embroiled in a tight knot, a karmic knot that just keeps getting tighter and tighter, and nothing good is served from there. On the 8th of March, if you do dare make those changes, by the way, look at the cute little owl on the screen at this moment. Isn't he sweet? This scenery, there's an artist named Tim Janis that makes these videos that I love, and my home is often filled with this beautiful, peaceful music and this scenery. And I encourage you, because the sun is in Pisces, Saturn will be in Pisces, Mercury's in Pisces. I encourage you to take personal time out and really reflect and think this year. Not only is it Lenten, but you can, draw 2 lines on the paper and see where your grief and anguishes and hardships are, and choose not to be embroiled in those things. Everyone's entitled to and has the right to live a peaceful, loving, happy life, and ultimately that's what Pisces wants for us. If that reality check is saying, well, but I'm not living like that, my life's chaos and it's unpredictable and it's ever changing and I can't count on my partner, well, wonderfully, not only is the moon trining Uranus helping you be free, but the moon is trining Pluto at 9 o'clock the next morning on Wednesday the 8th. And this again is giving you the impetus to make a major change and a major transformation in your own lifestyle. This is, a lot of us are moving now. A lot of us are making a home someplace else now. Moon trine Uranus and moon trine Pluto is that big change in the places that we're living. And again, if you're not sure, you're confused about anything, I have Black Moon Lilith readings. I have readings. I consult by astrology too. So if you've already gotten a birth chart reading from me, you're welcome at any time to reach out to me through my website and purchase a consult. We can talk about anything that you want to. And my advice is astrological. So on the 9th, the 9th is a problematic day as well. A lot of the reflections and of that full moon are still going to be burning with us for the next 2 weeks. And so a lot of that, the discord that may have happened, that may be starting today, this very day, flaring up again on Sunday and then blowing out of proportion on the full moon, the 7th, can be carried over into the 9th because we've got the moon in conjunction to Mercury, and that's being conflicted in your feelings and your thoughts. There's an inner turmoil and you're just not sure about what you're doing. The moon will be opposing Jupiter too, so you can be running into an arrogant other when you need to be held and cared for and comforted and loved and to feel secure. That other person, so full of self, will be indulging in what matters to them and not caring for you. And that again applies to those single moms or single dads and those little children that aren't getting what they deserve. The moon is in conjunct Uranus that day too, so there's a lot of upset in the ethers on March the 9th. And if you were born March the 9th, this is a prediction for your coming year. So I encourage you to get birthday readings every year, and I can forecast for you the year ahead and help you overcome some of these obstacles and challenges that we all face, and then help you take advantage or notice or appreciate the blessings and gifts that you have, because there is no perfect chart. We're human beings living in an imperfect world, here to do better and to prove to God that we can be better. On March the 10th, we have the moon opposite Venus, and so mothers and daughters in strife will not be getting along. Friends might be, female friends will be in discord with each other. And this is feeling again like you're not valued, you're not heard, you're not seen, you're not cherished, you're not respected. That's tough energy. The moon's in a conjunction to Neptune too, and so I would caution you to ask for receipts. Prove it to me, show it to me. I don't want to hear your stories. Prove it. Let your walk be your talk be your walk. Then there's a square of the moon between Pluto, so there's definitely the power struggles for that full moon week continue, but there's some really helpful energy too. We've got the moon in a trine to Mars, and that's when you can, if you're in that action to get out of those situations, this is good energy. It's vigor and it's purposeful, and you can get things done. The moon is also in a trine to Saturn, and that's good determination. That's improving, that's home improvement even. So that's making your place look nicer and making your security stronger. This is good for the market. On March 11th, I told you March 11th and 12th are really, really nice weekends. I'm loving them. And I hope you are with people that you love, that care about you and cherish you, because this is a very sweet and romantic weekend. We have Venus sextiling Mars, is great for lovers and under the cover pleasures. We've got Mercury sextiling Uranus, which is, if you are single, you could meet the one if you get out and mingle. On the Sunday, I love Sunday, the 12th. Except for overnight, those of you that work in the overnight hours in emergency situations, hospitals are going to be busy, ambulances are going to be called, and the overnight hours between the 11th and 12th look a little troublesome, but then we have some pretty nice energy for the rest of the day that is excellent for families and cozy time, nesting, cooking for family, and caring energy. You can feel a little bit out of sorts around dinner time. The moon is going to be in conjunct Mars, so there could be some dinner table heated discussions or problems between mothers and sons, or male family members causing a disruption. And then again, within that whole hour, the moon in conjuncts Venus as well. So it looks like there could be some dinner time squabbles if you don't behave yourself and act holy on Sunday, which is a Lenten Sunday at this March. On the 13th of March, the moon moves into Sagittarius, and we've got the moon sextiling Pluto on that day. And this is wonderful. There is no more powerful, cathartic mental well-being than when the moon is in harmony to Pluto. This is major breakthroughs. If you're in therapy, this is a great day that something good could break through and help you. This is excellent for female health. This is wonderful for those home renovations and finding that new home, or repairing new homes, or fixing up old homes. And that brings us to the very most difficult day of March that I think is March the 14th, when overnight at 4:30 in the morning on the 13th, coming into Tuesday the 14th, we have square after square after square after square. Squares are squabbles, they're challenges, they're problematic, they're troubles. We've got the moon squaring Neptune. That's feelings and thoughts are not in harmony with each other. We've got Mars squaring Neptune. Those people that are alcoholic or that enjoy drugs, recreational drugs, or are seriously addicted are going to be in trouble that day. We've got the moon squaring the sun, and that's husbands and wives not getting along, the public fighting with some kind of authority. And then we've got the moon squaring Neptune, and that's deception. So we also have the moon opposite Mars, which is outright war. So we can see a lot of hell unleashed out in the world, in the countries that are warring that day. It is not a very nice day, except for those of us that are holy and humble and Christian and refusing to participate in these lower animal activities. And that is because at 5 o'clock in the morning on the 14th, the moon is going to be trining Jupiter. And then she gets in trouble when she courses through all those malefic planets, and then there's discord between the people and authority. It's a hard day, guys. If you're privileged enough to be at home, or you're working in churches and populations, you're serving the public, that's going to be a difficult day. But if you're privileged enough to work from home, like we that are astrologers are, it's just a good day to be holy and prayerful and helpful, because there's a lot of strife, and it's going to come to a head on the 14th, after it's already reared its ugly head on the 7th, a week earlier on that full moon. Now, the 15th of March is the Ides of March, those days for all of us history lovers. And on this day, it's pretty wonderful. We've got the moon trining Venus, which is wonderful for women and children and public and health and good for the market. The moon sextiling Saturn, which is going to help you complete your hard work and all your chores. It's going to help you be dutiful and disciplined. And then we have the sun conjunct Neptune for all of us that work in the creative fields of expression and anything that's artistic, dance and theater and all of that stuff. Is going to be, the creative juices will be flowing for painters and sculptors, potters, and anybody who loves the arts, the 15th, and again on the 16th. Now the 16th, I would say this is the day that Venus moves into Taurus, so all of you that are 3 keys in Taurus or a Taurus stellium, this is a month you want to get your beauty treatments done. Are you considering plastic surgery? You would want to have it done now. You're going to look more beautiful than you do any other time of the year, Taurus. So get your pretty on, go buy some new clothes, money will be coming, favor will be coming. That's lovely. And Mercury is conjunct Neptune that day, so let it be dream. What are your dreams? Have you thought about them lately? Comment below if you're dare to share what your dreams are. And they can be very personal and should be when the Sun, Saturn, Neptune, and Mercury are in Pisces, and when Venus is in a sextile to all those planets in Taurus. This can be wonderful for relationships and commitments, especially if you can overcome the difficult energies, which is why I give you these forecasts. So the 16th can be a little trying. Even if you are a Taurus, but remember the nodes are on you, fate is here. So are you in line with destiny? And if you don't understand and you want to understand, come and get your readings. It can be a little bit of a struggle around 2 o'clock in the afternoon through the rest of the night. And I don't want you to get embroiled in fights. Those are likely. We've got the sun squaring Mars and we have Venus squaring Pluto. And yeah, that's not nice. That's people who want to fight with each other. Now, Friday, the 17th, is a bit of a mixed bag on St. Patrick's Day. And if you're holy and if you're going to Mass and if you're not eating meat and if you're in the tenets of Lenten prayers, you likely won't be embroiled in any of this, so good for you. There's lots of good energy with the moon sextiling Mercury, which means feelings and thoughts are in harmony. The moon is sextiling the sun, which means mommy and daddy are getting along, husband and wife are getting along, authority and public are getting along. And there's the moon sextiling Saturn, or Venus, I should say, is sextiling Saturn. So it's a nice day to get married. Venus and Saturn, Venus needs Saturn for a long marriage, for that marriage and commitment to last forever. If you're engaged in thinking about marriage dates, hire me for a consultation to help me choose your dates, because we want your marriage to last forever. That's the whole point of it. The moon is sextile Neptune, so that's dreamy and lovely. It's fun to get married on a Friday because it's already Venus's day. If your priest will marry you then on that day. But there's a little bit of a challenging energy too. We've got Mercury squaring Mars, and we have the moon squaring Venus. And that again can be conflict and fighting. And it's going to be petty. It's going to be unnecessary. And so you just need to check yourself. We also have the moon in conjunction to Mars. And that's people getting their feelings hurt easily, or you know how you're tired. If you're tired or irritable, you tend to fight more than you would if you're rested and well. That's the kind of energy that can happen on the 17th of March. What I encourage you to do is tap into Venus's energy in Taurus, because that's the energy of a goddess who's calm, who's patient, who doesn't let herself get tired. She's not overworked because all goodness comes to her. So if you're a female who's living alpha because of necessity, like single parenthood or head of the family, or if you lost a spouse, I say pamper yourself. Get to a spa. Go get a nice, relaxing massage. Have a glass of wine. Pamper yourself. Buy yourself something new. All women listening to this video. Pretty up your wardrobe. Look better, feel better, live better. And with that, I hope you've enjoyed this video, this beautiful scenery that's very Venus and Taurus of nature that Tim Janis, Janis, makes on videos on YouTube for you to enjoy. And you'll hear the accompaniment of some very, very nice, relaxing, peaceful music. You guys have a great weekend, and stay tuned for the forecast from 18 March through the end of the month soon. Take care, everyone. Love you guys. Bye for now. Don't forget to comment below and share these videos. Thank you. Hi, bye. I hope you enjoyed the videos.